I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Now, I told you guys I don't watch CNN, but this clip has gone viral over on Twitter. And I cannot believe that CNN allowed this to air. Watch this.
There's a complicated legacy on the African continent. The fairy tale is that Queen Elizabeth went up the treetops here in Kenya, a princess, and came down a queen, because it's when she was here in Kenya that she learned that her dad had died and she was to be the queen. But that also was the start of the 8 years after that the Kenyan colonial government cracked down. The British colonial government cracked down brutally on the Mau Mau rebellion against the colonial administration. They herded more than 1 million people into concentration camps where they were tortured and dehumanized. And so across the African continent, there have been people who were saying, I will not mourn for Queen Elizabeth because my ancestors suffered great atrocities under her people and that she never fully acknowledged that. And that is why among African Twitter, among Black Twitter and on social media, there's been many people who are ungovernable with takes that maybe don't quite follow the official state religion, which is why you see a statement like this from the South African opposition party, the Economic Freedom Fighters, that said, we do not mourn the death of Elizabeth because to us, her death is a reminder of a very tragic period in this country and Africa's history. During her 70-year reign as queen, she never once acknowledged the atrocities that her family inflicted on native people that Britain invaded across the world. If there is really life and justice after death, may Elizabeth and her ancestors get what they deserve. There are people on social media who are calling out this sort of statements for saying this is not the right time, you should honor the dead. But the critics say, when is really the right time to talk about the legacy of colonialism and the many, many after effects that continue to live with us today? But many African leaders are paying tribute to Queen Elizabeth, including the Kenyan President-elect William Ruto, who's called her 70-year reign and guiding of the Commonwealth as admirable. You saw, for instance, the statement from President Muhammadu Buhari of Nigeria that said, my family and the more than 200 million Nigerians have learned with immense sadness of the passing of Queen Elizabeth and the end of her unique and wonderful 70-year reign. She was the only British sovereign known to 90% of our population. And while there are people who supported President Buhari for that, he has gotten a lot of criticism for that sort of sentiment. To use the slang of the times, he's gotten ratioed for many people seeing him ignoring the impact of British colonialism in Nigeria, Michael.
Nothing but facts. And I can't believe the new CNN has allowed this to air on their network. Was this on at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when everybody else was asleep? Couldn't have been during the prime time hours where everybody would see it. Nothing but facts spoken in that report.